Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Welcome to all in Islam and Moral Education class. My dear students, I would like to request all of you, I would like to welcome all of you to Islam and Moral Education class. This is Hasan Yahya, lecturer, Department of Islamic Studies, Milestone College. My dear students, I would like to request all of you to recite Durud Sharif with me. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad an-Nabiyyi al-Ummi wa alihi wa sallim. Very good. And today we will discuss on lesson 6 and 7, chapter 2, lesson 6 and lesson 7. Today we will discuss on two chapters, lesson 6 and lesson 7. Lesson 6 and lesson 6 and lesson 7. You know, in month of Ramadan, I conducted one class in just this topic, Surah Al-Shams and Surah Doha. But yesterday I recorded new video, new class only for you. And those who didn't open your book, please open your book and take your copy, take your pen and everything. I'd like to start my class. I have a version in Islam and Moral Education book, lesson 6, Surah Al-Shams. Lesson 6, Surah Al-Shams. Very good, my dear students. Surah Shams is included in the Makki Surah. There are two categories Surah, Makki Surah and Madani Surah. Surah Shams is Makki Surah. Surah Shams is which Surah? Makki Surah. And the number of ayats here is 15. There are 15 ayats in Surah Shams. And its name is based on the first word. Shams is the first word. That's why the name of this surah is Surah Shams. And the serial number of this surah, 91st. 91 surah, 15 ayats, Makki surah, and the first word, Shams, the name has been taken from first verse. Okay, my dear students, I am going to recite this surah. I am going to recite this surah, and first of all, I'd like to recite, then I'll translate it. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wash-shamsi wa duhaha wal-qamari idha talaha wan-nahari idha jallaha wal-layli idha yaghshaha وَالسَّمَاءِ وَمَا بَنَاهَا. My dear students, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, in the name of Almighty Allah, the most merciful and the most compassionate. Okay, Ash-Shams Duhaha, by the sun and its brightness, by the sun and its brightness. Wal-Qamari idha talaha, and the moon when it flows, the sun. وَالنَّهَارِ إِذَا جَلَّاهَا, and the day when it reveals it. وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا يَغْشَاهَا, and the night when it covers it. وَالسَّمَاءِ وَمَا بَنَاهَا, and the heaven and him who built it. وَالْأَرْضِ وَمَا طَحَاهَا, and the earth and him who spread it. وَنَفْسٍ وَمَا سَوَّاهَا, and the soul and him who perfected it. فَأَلْهَمَهَا فُجُورَهَا وَتَقْوَاهَا, and inspired it with conscience of what is wrong for it and what is right for it. قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا, he indeed is successful who caused it to grow. وَقَدْ خَابَ مَنْ دَسَّاهَا, and who indeed is a failure who pollutes it. كَذَّبَتْ ثَمُودُ بِطَغْوَاهَا, the tribes of Samud disbelieved in their vanity. إِذِ انبَعَثَ أَشْقَاهَا, when the best of them broke forth. فَقَالَ لَهُمْ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ نَاقَةَ اللَّهِ وَسُقْيَاهَا, then the messenger of Allah said, it is the she-camel of Allah, so be careful to let her drink. فَكَذَّبُوهُ فَعَقَرُوهَا فَدَمْدَمَ عَلَيْهِمْ رَبُّهُمْ بِذَنبِهِمْ فَسَوَّاهَا, but they disbelieved in him and cut her, so Allah destroyed them for their sins and also their houses. وَلَا يَخَافُ عُقْبَاهَا. And He, Allah the Most High, does not fear its consequences. Okay, my dear students, just I gave you instruction, I gave you translation of Surah Shams. Now I would like to give you the meaning or explanation of Surah Shams. You know, in Hadith Sharif and Surah in Holy Quran, also in Hadith Sharif, if you don't know the explanation or if you don't know the proper meaning of these words of that Hadith, then you can't realize the main theme, or you can't realize the main lesson, what Allah SWT want to say, and what is the main indication by this ayat, by these words. So that's why always try to realize the main point, realize the main theme. If you just read Bengali meaning of this any verse or any hadith, it will be suicide for you. It will be a dangerous thing, dangerous decision for you. Always try to explain, and if you don't know, then you have to talk with a scholar, you have to talk with expert person, then you can take a decision, you can read properly. Otherwise, if you want to read just by yourself without any, that you have to read tafsir, or you have to get an explanation book. There are a lot of sub books of hadith also, so this is very important. Okay, my dear students, the ayats of Surah Shams may be classified into three groups. How many groups? Three groups. The ayats of Surah Shams classified into three groups. The first group consists of the first 7 ayat. That means the first group is first 7 ayats. And in these ayat, Allah the Most High takes oath by some of creations. There I state about their creator. He takes oath by man, by oath by their things. Allah the Most High states in the issues of ayat the follow. In the second group, Allah the Most High states the condition of man. Allah the Most High has created man. He has granted him to knowledge and good evil deeds. In spite of these, if a man pollutes himself by, then his domain inevitable. On the contrary, a man who purifies himself, perform good deeds, he will attain success. That means if any good, he purify himself, that means he will attain success. And if anyone, he will not purify himself, then he will not get success. That means first 7 ayats, Allah SWT took oaths by the creation of Allah, and the second group, Allah SWT narrated the condition of the creation. And the third group, Allah SWT narrated at the end of the surah. Allah the Most High has narrated the case of human failure by citing and the incident of the Thamud tribe. You know, Samud bitaqwaha. The Samud tribe was very advanced nation. You know, during that time, they stayed in the hill. They uncovered. What can I say? Actually, whatever they wanted to do, they could that, and they did that. They were advanced nation in all among the all nations. That's why Allah SWT mentioned their ability, their advanced in the Holy Quran. But Allah SWT they disbelieved Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, and they disbelieved the messenger of Allah, and also Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. That's why Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala punished them by their insolence. That's why that is the very important teaching lesson for us. Okay, now teachings. It is Allah the Most High who is the creator of the heavens and the earth and the man. Very important. Everybody underline the teaching and take your copy. This is a revision. I think all students, you know the translation. All students, you know the teaching of this hadith. All students, you know the explanation of this in this surah, in this verse. So this is the revision class. Again, I am discussing this twice time. Just during month of Ramadan, we discussed this surah. Now this is the 5th July. Again, we are discussing. Okay, number 1, teaching. It is Allah the Most High who is creator of the heavens, the earth and man. It is He who causes the rotation of the sun, the moon, day and night. It is who grants man knowledge of right and wrong, the good and evil deeds. On who will perform noble deeds will gain total success, and he will injure himself in sins and filth will be unsuccessful and destroyed. Those among our preceding nations who were disobedient, Allah the Most High punished them on this very earth. In fact, the punishment of Allah the Most High is extremely severe. Therefore, we shall be careful about the punishment of Allah. We must Allah the Most High. That means, my dear students, from Surah Shams, we got that thing. There are 3 type of ayats here, and if we purify ourselves, then we will get success. If we don't purify ourselves, if we don't maintain the instruction of Allah, then Allah will give us punishment. This coronavirus is on kind of punishment, and only this on this punishment of Almighty Allah. If we die, then we'll go to Jannah. If we have Iman, and if we die without Iman, then we'll not enter the heaven. That's why very important this time. Coronavirus is also a punishment of Almighty Allah. So, my dear students, please everybody return to Islam. Everybody return to Islam properly and perform Salat, maintain the Islamic instruction of Shariat. Okay, I think you got the point. And if you get any lesson, any hints from this surah, you can write any creative question, knowledge-based question, uncomprehensive question, what A type of question, B type questions. If you get, then you can write from here. And maybe one CQ you will get from surahs. So this is very important. Okay, my dear students, first Surah Shams we have completed. Now we are going to discuss lesson 7, Surah At Duha. Lesson 7, Surah At Duha. Okay, I'm not interested to waste time. Surah At Duha is the 93rd Surah. Surah At Duha is the 93rd Surah of Al-Quran. The number of ayat 11 ayat. Surah Shams ayat number 15. Surah At Duha ayat number 11. Surah At Duha ayat number 11. It was revealed in the holy city of Makkah. The name has been from the first word of Surah Dua. Surah Shams also the name has been taken from first verse. Also Surah Dua, the name has been taken from first verse. What is the Shani Nuzul of Surah Dua? What is the Shani Nuzul of Surah Dua? Shani Nuzul, that means background of Surah, the reasons of Surah, why this Surah has revealed, and what is the main theme, what is the main reason for reveal a Surah. That is called Shani Nuzul. So what is the Shani Nuzul of Surah Dua? And it has been narrated in the novel tradition of that during the illness of the Holy Prophet could not perform the Tahajjud prayers. During this time, Jibreel didn't bring wahi from Almighty Allah. At this, the Kafirs and Mushriks of Makkah were spreading a rumor that Muhammad Lord had forsaken him and turned his back on him. Prophet was very sick, and that's why he could not perform Salat Tahajjud, and Jibreel didn't come that time. And the Kafir and Mushrik, they spread the humor. That means they viral, the fake news, they spreading viral. It's totally haram in Islam. That's why we have to keep this lesson very carefully and take lesson from this surah, the Shani of this surah, Ad-Duha. On the other hand, Jamila. Who is Jamila? She is wife of Abu Lahab. He took herself to Muhammad and started telling, "Oh Muhammad, I think the devil that used to come to has forsaken you forever. I have not been seeing he coming to you for the last 2 or 3 days." The Holy Prophet was shocked and hurt by such turning and mocking. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the wahi, revelation of this consolation, at protest as well that resisted by the surah against the numerous of the kafirs. There too, it is also on consolation prize from Almighty Allah to Prophet Muhammad. Also, this is the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed this surah as a registered of what is spreaded and the rumors are totally fake. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed this surah. Okay, first of all, we'd like to recite this surah and translation. Number 1. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of Allah, the Most High, is most merciful. Wadduha, by the morning hours. Wallayli idha sawa, and by the night when it is still. Ma wadda'aka rabbuka wa ma qala. Your master has not forsaken you, nor does he hate you. That Allah has not forsaken you. Allah will not leave you. And surely coming day will be better than those gone by. What actually days you will get, that will be better for you. What actually you passed. So don't afraid, my Muhammad. Allah said in the Hadith Sharif. Allah said in the Holy Quran. Surely your Lord shall grant you favor and you shall be pleased. Alam yajidka yatiman fa'awa. Did he not find you an orphan and then provided you will shelter? When the Prophet lost his father as when he was very kids. That's why Allah told, did I not found that your orphan and then provide you with a shelter? Was the Kabbalah fahada? He found you straight and then guided you to the right path. وَوَجَدَكَ عَائِلًا فَأَغْنَى. He found you poor of means, then he removed your wants. فَأَمَّا الْيَتِيمَ فَلَا تَقْهَرْ. So be you not harsh to the orphan. وَأَمَّا السَّائِلَ فَلَا تَنْهَرْ. And scold not the passionator. وَأَمَّا بِنِعْمَةِ رَبِّكَ فَحَدِّثْ. And scold not the, and you announce the bounties, favors of your master. That when you will get time, please pray to Allah, you praise to your Lord. That's the main theme of this Surah Ad-Duha. I told you earlier, never ever just read the meaning of any. You can mean just Arabic, English, or Bengali, or Hindi, or Spanish, or any other language. Just you recite that thing. No, you have to. If you don't read properly, if you don't know the explanation properly, then you can't realize the main thing. You can't get the main thing of that surah. So this is very important. Okay, now come here to explanation. In this surah, Allah the Most High has narrated numerous favors given to the Holy Prophet of Islam. The Prophet and messengers are the chosen person of Allah. The prophets and messengers, they are the chosen person of Almighty Allah. They are the favorite slaves of Allah the Most High, Allah the Great, showed upon the innumerable favors and made it. That means whatever the prophets and messengers, they got any dangerous time, they are not satisfactory time, not good time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them shelter. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave everything. He saved from the danger of calamity. Our beloved Holy Prophet was the greatest and final prophet and messenger. He was the closest friend of Allah the Most High. He was his Habib, meaning dearest friend and servant. Allah the Most High great granted him favor under all circumstances. Okay, my dear student, as we know, before the birth of Hazrat Muhammad, his father had passed away. Then at the age of 6, his mother followed his father to the grave. But Allah the Most High has inherited decently of his unbound mercy. Rasulullah used to keep himself absorbed in the deep meditation, thinking, constantly for the removal of suffering, the man's salvation in Akhirat. Side by side, Allah some of this hadith. In this surah, Allah the Most High has given Rasulullah good tidings, granting of many favors. In the next word, Allah the Most High announced that his next life will be better many times more than the mundane life. That means Akhirat life is better, such time, a lot of times better than the mundane life. Mundane life is this life, world life, here life, dunya life, and next life, that means Akhirat. Reminding him all these attentions or amenities, Allah the Most High commands Rasulullah to express his gratitude. He ordered him not to brush with opinions and orphans, pensioners and orphans. At last, he assigned him the responsibility of expressing gratitude to him, the providing of bounties. That is the explanation of Surah Ad-Duha. Okay, now let's come here to teaching of Surah Ad-Duha. Number, Allah never forsaken his dear slaves. Number 2, it is He who saves them from all dangers. In the next life, He will grant them blissful life. The rich should do good for the poor and distressed people, orphans and beggars. No treatment with the needy, pensioners and orphans is allowed. They must not be rebuked, scolded, beaten or threatened. Rather, they should be well treated. All good things and bounties are gifts from Almighty Allah. Feeds, obligates and space gratuitous for these gifts. For instance, Allah the Most High has granted us Iman, Al-Quran, wealth and assets, knowledge and intelligence, etc. So for all these gifts, your graduates must be expressed. The truth about all this must be propagated among men. These are the teachings of Surah Ad-Duha. My dear students, I'd like to request all of you to read this surah properly, carefully, and try to take the message from explanation, from channel preparation for IB, and pray for your teacher, pray for me, pray for your fathers, pray for your milestone, pray for our country, pray for the whole Muslim world. No more today. Thank you so much, everybody.